Today I wanted to talk about this journey that we take as women in leadership. And it's a journey to freedom where we can show up with no apology, nothing to hide, nothing to prove. And we move out of this state of trying to please others all the time, that state of almost feeling trapped on the inside. And it's a complex journey. It takes courage and takes being willing to do some significant work. But on the other side of it, this sense of freedom and victory over what was challenging us in the past. So speaking from experience, I know that this journey isn't easy and it's not linear either. There's bumps in the road and sometimes there's some moments where we feel like we're failing. But if we can lean in deeper when those things come up, what we find is through the other side, there's so much more awareness and ability to connect and understand more clearly what it is that we want in our lives and go for it and create it. I remember I really loved school and study. It's something that I gravitated towards. I wasn't a sporty person, I wasn't a creative person. I just really loved studying. I love numbers and I love writing. And I remember this one time when I was able to achieve 100% on an exam and our teacher asked me if she could share it. And I didn't see any reason why not to share it with everyone. I thought it would be a celebration of all of us, not of how good I did, but more like, human potential, right? We could all achieve 100% if we try. So for me, it was more like that. And so when she shared it, I thought we would all just celebrate and have fun together. But actually what I got in my naivety was the opposite. I received jealousy coming at me and judgment and bullying and, people sort of behaving in a way that no longer had me be part of the group that I was in. And so that sort of was an awakening for me in some form of, our self-confidence or being willing to promote ourselves just authentically and naturally. Because as human beings, I think it's really important that we are able to own our strengths and our weaknesses equally with no apology or nothing to prove and nothing to hide. And that's what I stand for. Tara Moore, who wrote an article in Goop, talks about this area for women in leadership around self-promotion and how as we learn as this, being the good girl, potentially some of us as we grow, and also then women who judge each other is often, research tells us that we're often more judgmental of each other than others are of us. And so put those things together amongst a bunch of other things, what happens as we grow in our career, we're less likely to self-promote. But that means we're holding ourselves back in our career. And she says at some point we get to a place where we know that we need to be able to make our work more visible, but we have to figure out how to do that in a way that feels really comfortable for us, but we don't feel like we are going to get this backlash as well. And so this is an area that I work with women in leadership a lot, is how do I find my voice? How do I find that place where I can own the room or expand my leadership presence and not feel like I need to justify myself? I have the experience, I have the expertise the women share with me, but why am I holding myself back this way? And so one of the things, the journey that I take women on is this place from, what can be this deep self-doubt because we've experienced that judgment back at us. And so therefore we've changed who we are to please others a lot of the time. So we carry this self-doubt about how we should show up. And then moving into this place of what I call becoming. But this can be a challenge for us because this state of becoming is where we can get stuck. There's one more thing we need to do before we go for that promotion. There's one more book I need to read or seminar I need to go to or training development program I need to do before I back myself. So this state of becoming is where I find a lot of people get stuck, a lot of women get stuck. So my conviction and certainly my experience is, how do we now move into this state of believing in ourselves because we said so? Because we remember that little girl, whatever your memory is of yourself as a little girl, being really powerful and confident and not worrying what other people think. And if we can connect with that part of us, it's still within us. And if we can nurture that and foster that and develop that within ourselves as an authentic place, then we can demonstrate for others as well what's possible when we're in that place. And so once we move into a state of believing because we said so, not because we've got all the evidence, but just because we make a choice to be there, then what's possible is a state of influence where we can walk into any room and hold our space there. And as I said, with nothing to prove and nothing to hide. So that, for me, there is this beautiful place where women can be present and own their voice and speak their voice and not have to tone themselves down or second guess themselves so often. And so, if you're interested in a journey like this, then I'd love to have a chat with you, or, you can jump on our breakfast events. They're free monthly events for women in leadership. And yeah, I hope this is connected for you, and I'll talk to you soon.